In this video, we explore the Korea National University of Arts. Why? Because this campus has a history unlike any other I visited. Some crazy things happened here. It's tied to Korea's intelligence agency during the military dictatorship.
Not so legal activities were happening, definitely human rights abuse.
A royal tomb that was damaged, and even ghost stories. We also get a glimpse of what life is like for students at one of Korea's most prestigious art universities.
Hello! What is up, everyone? I'm here with Anna from Germany. Like me, she's a Seoul honorary citizen. Let's see if I got this correct. You're an actress, a producer,
director.
And a director. You're a lot of things.
Of different jobs.
And she will show us around K Arts campus.
Yes, I've done my acting major here at the K Arts. I actually was the first foreigner to do a master for acting.
No way.
Yes, and after me now there are a lot of foreigners, but because of the language and everything, the standards are really high. I'm very looking forward to show you the campus because it's really unique and very different from other campuses, from other universities here in Korea.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
The K Arts campus is located in Seokgwan-dong, in Seongbuk-gu. If you're new here, on this channel we explore every single neighborhood of Seoul. And Seokgwan-dong is already neighborhood 176 out of 467. We're getting closer to the halfway point, so please like, comment and subscribe to support the project.
She told me earlier that this is the place where, oh wow, bad timing, she used to have lunch?
Sometimes.
With the teacher?
A special occasion. It's because it's takamari, so it's usually very expensive. So when the teacher is paying for lunch or dinner, we would usually go there.
Gotta love Korean culture. Would it ever happen in Germany that a teacher brings students to a restaurant?
No, but I don't know if it's acting major, but we used to have lunch with our professors or dinner all the time.
So why did you choose to study here?
So I wanted to study acting, and I've been to different universities in Seoul. I'm a very straightforward person. I would just knock on the door of the professors and say, hey, I'm really interested in studying here.
Wow.
But once I came here to this campus, I just felt I don't want to go to another school. It just has that artistic vibe. Here it's really unique. So everybody is just focused on doing art. Even here there's a
little shrine. It's called the Seokgwan-dong Shrine.
This is a good moment to introduce local historian Jihoon. We'll jump between him and Anna to get both the alumni and historical perspectives, starting with this small shrine, which to my surprise is part of a dying tradition.
If you walk from the station on your way to the university, there is a little shrine.
It's a fairly new one. There was a local town shrine that was in this area for many years, but then the current structure, as far as I know, was built around 2007 because the original one was completely destroyed because of this whole apartment buildings. They had to rebuild this, which is quite surprising because a lot of times, a lot of these sindangs, these little shrines, are usually completely destroyed and never rebuilt again. Fairly common in the vicinity of Seoul back in the day. But then unfortunately, it's a rapidly changing and diminishing kind of practice, folklore. Back in 1972, there were about 260 of these things. Can you guess how many are left, including this one?
I would say 50.
50?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot. 11 now.
11?
Yeah, that's it. 11.
Oh.
And this is one of the lucky 11.
Do you have an explanation for why it's diminishing this culture?
People just leave, and of course, people completely lose touch with the local folklore and the beliefs that is associated with it, and of course, the locals don't live here anymore.
And why do they do these rituals annually?
I think it was all about not to have any natural disasters, landslides, forest fires, whatever, not to have any of those things. And of course, all of this area used to be rice paddies. I guess it also kind of doubled as a kind of a wanting bigger crops and good harvest and that kind of thing.
For me as a German, even when I was in high school, I would usually finish before lunch and then just go home and do my homework. And here we had classes all day. We would eat lunch and dinner at school and then have practice in the night. And there are even sleeping rooms. You can just lie on the floor.
No way.
And I used it all the time. You just live in the school.
What?
And here you can see the campus is really, really small. We also have a theater building, which is really nice. It's a big theater where all the students can also do their graduation performances, and a library which is surprisingly small and is not open all the time. So like
Theater students don't do reading?
No, not that much. Like there are not a lot of people inside and it closes really early. And I think it's not even open during the weekend. So this is half of the campus, and then over there's also like the traditional
Fine arts and
also the music. So when you walk that way, you always hear like the drums.
Yeah, right, that's true.
So you tend to walk like this. We also had to learn Korean traditional dancing.
Is it a must?
Yes.
No way. So you can?
Yes, I
No
had
way.
it for like 3 semesters, but I think I had it for 4 even.
That is so cool. You yourself are quite well known, but are there many other like well-known students in your class?
Like the people I studied with, like Lee, he's a drama movie actor. He's very popular these days.
I will just pretend to know him. Oh, him, really?
And then Anupam.
Oh yeah,
who was in
Anupam I know,
Squid Game.
seriously.
Then of course like my 선배님, 김고은, 박수담 who was also in Parasite.
Yes.
How do you call
Oh,
it?
the
like
bars.
when you're, the bars.
Like the prison bars.
Yeah, so usually when you have like interview season for the new students,
Yes.
our dancing class was over there in the building, and you go inside and it's super cold even though it's summer.
Yes.
And then there are like the bars and you feel like in prison.
The campus of Korea National University of Arts doesn't have a typical history. When people in Korea hear Korea Central Intelligence Agency, or KCIA, they usually think of Namsan. That's where most of the interrogations and torture took place. Namyong as well, by the way. But the actual headquarters, it was right here. Then in the mid-1990s, K Arts moved their campus onto this exact site. And that's not even the strangest part. Many of the original KCIA buildings are still here. And what's even crazier is what the KCIA did to the King's Tomb grounds. More about that later.
Still, you walked in and you thought, this is the building I want to study in.
Yes, because back then I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know it back then?
I didn't know it. It was just like very unique.
It's like the underdog among the KCIA locations.
This was the headquarters. An awful lot of not so legal activities were happening. Definitely human rights abuse, for sure.
Also here.
Yeah.
So torture, interrogations, all of this stuff.
Quite a lot of interrogation, I can tell you. We are not entirely sure about the torture here because the torture was probably done
Namyong.
either Namyong or Namsan. I mean, as soon as K Arts came in, they just took it over. And yeah, they're still using several buildings of it.
Do you know which buildings? Because they all are a bit brutalist, right?
Yeah, quite a lot of them are brutalist, but not these. But
Not
then
these? Also not the ones behind us?
No, not those.
Okay.
Anna explained how the campus is divided between the north, where we just were, and the south. That's where most of the buildings from the KCIA era still remain. We'll get to those soon, but first, Anna brought me to a huge green space in between the two parts of campus. Students often come here to walk or just chill, and honestly, they're pretty lucky to have a Joseon royal tomb right in the middle of the university. But this is Korea, and nothing ever comes without a story or a controversy. When the KCIA moved its headquarters here, they looked at the King's Tomb grounds and basically thought, let's change this.
The central pavilion for the rituals and the monument building, those things are originals. But then other than that, they had built this gigantic pond that was circling around the entire tumulus.
So when the KCIA moved in, the tomb was much bigger than what it is today.
Because this was a king's tomb, they couldn't touch it, but everything around it, all the side properties that was adjacent to this,
They could.
It's crazy to see how much the KCIA changed this area. Like they even built a football field.
So here, guys, I'm not entirely sure, but I think these are the goals of the football field that was used by the KCIA. So there's an opening in the fence here that used to connect K Arts campus with the tomb compound, but now they blocked it up with these goals. So I think these are from the KCIA era. How funny is that they're being used like this? So the football field was right on the other side.
Today, a lot has been restored, but one KCIA-era building still stands inside the tomb grounds, and no one can touch it, because it now has heritage status. Anna and I stumbled upon it in the southwest corner. Next to a royal tomb, this building really stands out, don't you think? And what's even stranger is that this is where an important meeting related to North Korea once took place, hence the heritage upgrade.
Back in 1972, that's the location where the North Korean delegate, they had a joint press conference, the North Korean delegation and the South Korean, like KCIA folks, of having what they call the July 4th common goal, common interest tenets of 1972, which is of course still considered to be building blocks.
Okay,
the reunification process.
In case we reunify, then we have to do this and this and this.
That was a big deal back then because this was the first time in 22 years.
That was the first time in 22 years?
2 years. I mean, immediately after the beginning of the war, right? That the North and the South actually did something together. So here we are.
Here we are.
This rather ugly-looking, brutalist, very early 1970s looking building. Most of the windows and the glasses you can see, these are all reflective, meaning you cannot see inside.
And not many windows here?
Yeah, hardly any windows. That building down there, of course, that's a little add-on that they did in the late 1980s, I think it was.
Wow, so this is where it happened?
Yeah, this is where July 4th joint, declaration of reunification took place on July 4th, 1972. There was this whole bunch of North Korean agents sent by Kim Il-sung, of course, and the KCIA folks that were working towards the common goal of how to basically make up something about the basic of the basic agreement when it comes to like reunification. And to this day, this joint declaration is still considered to be the base, the foundation of all the reunification talks that we have.
Let's leave King Gyeongjong resting in peace. He's been disturbed more than enough. I moved to the other side of campus, where many of the buildings were once used by the KCIA during the dictatorship years. My wife, who's doing her master's here, spent most of her time on this side of campus, and the vibe is completely different.
So really special trait of this building is there's a middle garden, and then you cannot access to this middle garden without going through the main gate. So this is only access like internal people. But it's really nice that you have suddenly like really nice garden inside of the building.
It is really nice.
Yeah, it's so nice. You see like this structure, right? Like a circular structure, which makes you really lost your orientation. And then still I'm like 2 years in this school. And then I always lost, like, whether am I like this side or that side? Yeah. Or is this side, is that side? And then you will see.
What happened in the basement?
So, do you feel already the chill?
Yeah, it's 10 degrees colder in here.
Yeah.
Oh?
Like, so people do exhibition here.
Really?
Oh, of course, there's a rumor. This is the first basement, right? And then there's a second basement, and we are not using it. The school is not using it. And then allegedly, the shaman advised to not use it. And
Really?
we don't know why.
What? Can you go down?
There's no entrance to going down. I never seen it.
Really?
I never seen it. So there's a rumor. This is like the first rumor I heard when I came to the school that if you find the entrance going down, you will never come back.
Shall we find it?
Shall we try? What if we never
You
come
always
back?
said you wanted to die together, and now we're together, so we might as well try.
맞아. Didn't imagine
But
to
look
die
at this.
in my
This
school.
looks like what's it called? The game, the back door, back room.
This is the basement floor. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. So when I saw this, people do have to do the exhibition here, and then look at this.
What is
because
this?
floor is really important for the artwork, right? It's the clean floor, but it's like super duper industrial.
Jesus, this just looks like an abandoned building. Don't they have any funds to cheer up the place a little?
But you know,
put some frames on the wall, some plants on the floor.
So this building is also like a traditional music building.
Yeah.
So they always like playing like a 국악. And then when I stay here during the night, the 2 a.m., 3 a.m., they still play it. And then I was like so scared when I was really newbie here. And then like, because it's very freaky, and then those 국악 sound can be like a ritual. But now I feel very safe when I hear that song.
This is so nice with all the pine trees. You have this old KCIA building.
맞아.
I think many people will say it looks ugly, but I'm Bart and I'm iGoBart. I like this kind of stuff.
And I'm your wife, so I also like this.
You have no
stuff, so,
choice.
yeah.
You've been iGoBart indoctrinated.
Yeah, I'm like a... And this used to be the gym, KCIA gym.
Oh, where?
This one,
Oh, this used to be the gym.
yeah.
Yeah?
Like a 체육관. Oh.
Ah. This is where the KCIA agents or some of the staff used to sleep.
Yeah.
The dormitories.
Yeah. So when I saw this building, I was like a little shocked.
It just looks like an old abandoned house in the countryside somewhere. Yeah. How money just passed away, so no one's taking care of the garden anymore. There's rotten fruit everywhere. Everything is overgrown. But still cool though. Like yes,
Yeah.
these look like typical dormitory rooms. Let's show you an old KCIA dormitory room. Let me show you another KCIA dormitory room.
This is empty room, so I think it's like.
Another. This one looks nice. Very homey.
I couldn't figure out exactly which building was used for what, but as you walk around, it's easy to imagine secret agents moving through these halls, doing their business in a very different Korea.
And this, I have no idea what.
What is that? Is that
That's a boat from Han River.
and they turned it into a car? And this thing here? If the guy who made this is watching this video, please let us know. What were you trying to make?
Summarize K-art.
Yeah, it really does.
I even tried to get to the rooftop, but the doors were locked. So unfortunately, this video won't have a rooftop.
This school is really, really strict. So if you, for example, want to do a role or you want to like participate in a movie, you can't until like the third semester.
Oh, what?
So I remember I was in my third semester and I got a big offer for like a very good play. And my professor said, no, you can't. Or you have to quit the school.
What?
So they are really, really like trying to have the students educated first and then send them out to actually do acting. Even if it's YouTube filming, you have to get the okay from the school.
Wow, they're like a very strict agency.
Yeah, yeah. Even like with hair, like if you change your hair color or like your style, you have to talk to the professor first. Because as an actor, it's like a major thing, you know?
What? Are they still the KCIA?
Because of its dark past, there are plenty of ghost stories among the students. A quick search online and several blogs popped up with stories from students and teachers about ghost encounters.
I'm not that afraid of ghosts or anything, but a lot of like the other students, they say when they were practicing and then taking a shower at night, they saw like ghosts. I don't know if it's also like because they're artists and they're overly traumatic.
They have a strong imagination.
Maybe.
I really like the K-Arts jacket.
Usually when you're here, you only wear black pants and like the jogging trousers, the unofficial uniform.
I can't really show it well right now because there aren't many students around, but they really are wearing mostly dark clothes. And despite the warm weather outside, many of them still have winter jackets on. I guess it really is cold inside.
Oh my God!
What is going on here, guys? Hey, what is going on here?
Like
This is the e-bike biker gang. I think somewhere in the city people are just looking for hours to find an e-bike because they're all here.
So sometimes when the weather is nice, the students beg the teachers, can we do Yahweh Suop like outside class?
And you do it over here.
We do it over there. There's a Cheongja,
Ooh.
like the pavilion.
That is nice.
And because we have super small classes, why I wanted to come here, because if not, our campus looks really, really cold. You know, you only have the building, the cold, like you go deeper and deeper.
For real
the
though.
alleys and hidden rooms.
Your campus is probably the coldest campus I've ever seen.
Right, so I wanted to give some balance.
Yeah,
it's
this is
once,
good.
Once a year, like
the
for a
blossoms over
couple
here.
of weeks, it looks like this. Everybody who studies here is kind of like an artist. And that's where I feel like you're just so immersed in being in an art school compared to other schools that also offer acting majors.
Yeah.
But then there are also like students from, I don't know, like politics, from business administration or anything. But here it's only like the weirdos.
So yes, in this episode we mostly explored in and around the campus, because the rest of Seokgwan-dong feels quite similar to neighboring Gyeonggi-dong, which we covered not long ago. But this campus was simply too interesting, with quite a story to tell. So Seokgwan-dong goes on the map as K-Arts and the KCIA's strange legacy.
See you in the next neighborhood. Hallo.